Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Capita Super DOA, or Super DOA as TC says. This board features Capita's Resort V1 camber profile, so you have camber through the insert pack, then it goes flat, and then you've got a very micro reverse or rocker out in the tip. So what this is going to do is give you all the load, pop, snap, and drive of traditional camber underfoot. And then with that flat into the reverse, you're going to have an ease of entry in and out of turns, a bigger sweet spot for presses and butter, and if you get into some pow, it's going to help you out just a little bit. This board is available in 152, 154, 156, 158, 160, 155 wide, 158 wide, 161 wide, and 163 wide. I rode this board at Copper Mountain on a sunny bluebird day with warmer temps. You had soft, creamy groomers, a little chop and chunder, light winds, kind of just a perfect Colorado day, and I rode it with my Rome Black Label bindings and my K2 Thraxis boots. This is a park board with solid response to it, so it's around the middle of the road, maybe just a hair past it. What you do get though is more play out in the tips where that reverse is through the flat, and then it stiffens up through the middle. The torsional flex kind of matches that. You notice when you twist it, it's very quick to rebound. So when you're ankle steering, you're gonna feel some power there. For a board that's milled this thin and it's freestyle focused, it's actually fairly stable. You get a little bit of chatter out in the tips, but most of that is killed off before it hits the insert packs. When you get into rutted out terrain, it kind of just skips over everything. I didn't get bucked around, but keep your knees bent just in case. It is a lively board, so if you get into some super frozen death cookies, you are gonna feel that chatter coming up underfoot as well. Ollies and pop-on jumps. This board boosts. You load up that camber section, and because it's flat into that reverse, you've got more of a leverage point to really push into it before it reacts and it springs. So ollie over that slow sign and that family of fat skiers that's standing behind it thumbjacking their fart boxes because they need to be spooked. You're going to the moon with this thing. Side hits, launch ramps. Rollers, launch ramps. Cat track gaps, launch ramps. Everything becomes a launch ramp with this. And that kind of translates to how this thing jumps. With the tune on the base of this thing, which is primo, and by the way, you might need some speed checks because you're going to overshoot the jump. Small, medium, large, it doesn't matter. You're boosting when you hit this thing. Load it up, oh, you're going higher and further than you thought. Not loading it up, it's still going to compress on that transition and launch you. So be aware of it. This board's going to get you up in the air. You liking this review so far? Well, why haven't you clicked the thumbs up down there? You know, give it a like. You know you want to. It helps us, it helps you. Oh, you're not subscribed either? Why don't you go subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications, that way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for you. Go, do it, now. If you understand that this board is responsive, you're gonna have a great time jibbing. If you don't, well, be aware it's gonna fight you. There is a lot of rebound in it. So when you're pressing into that nose or that tail in a butter, it's gonna wanna spring you out. And you need to be aware of that. You've got to leverage your weight perfectly with your hip out over the nose or the tail. You're really going to end up sitting on it and pushing into it. It fights you, but you're going to get a deep press, and then when you go to disengage it, it's going to rebound automatically. So, like I said, be aware of it. That kind of translates over to jibbing. Yeah, high speed, it's going to be your friend on a rail or a feature. Slow speed, oh, you're going to be miserable. You're going to be putting a lot of work in. So go a little faster than you think. When you go sideways, there's enough give between the feet for it to cradle around the feature without it fully clapping out. So take it, do what you want with that. Maybe come in from the top rope. I don't know. Let's see what you guys got. High speed jibbing. It's basically a slope style board. I'm gonna recommend that when you rip this thing out of the wrapper, you detune the contact points a little bit. I don't do that when I test stuff. You send it to me, it comes out the plastic the same way it came out of the factory. I go and I ride it. It was a little hooky. It's kind of scary. Once I got used to that, not so much. There is power in this board on edge. You feel it. It lays a trench, and you can really aggressively drive it from the center back through the tail. You can really get it to slingshot you out of a carve. Short, tight, quick carves, It's very powerful edge to edge, but it's also very fluid and nimble at the same time. Medium mellow carves, you lock in and you're going from one side of the run back to the other. This is a deck that you can push it with. You want to go leave a trench with it? Oh yeah, go right ahead. You're leaving a trench. You're going to get a ton of response from this board. It has power. It wants to pop out of every carve. So you're gonna be able to spring from your toe side to your heel side edge. There's none of that weird transition where you can see the board going flat. You're just like spring, bam, back on edge, back on edge. You're going for it. Going slow, still gonna be responsive. This is a board that it comes alive when you ride it faster. Rider in mind. So who's this board for? The high-end freestyle rider that charges. You know who you are. You're probably not even watching this review, or you're watching it as an afterthought. All right, you like what we're doing over here and you want to support us further? Swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. This board is fast. Holy crap, is it fast. You're constantly checking your speed because whatever you're doing, you're probably overshooting it. Speed checks everywhere. The tune on the base of this thing is amazing. It's got power and response on edge. It's got great snap. It's a good high-end freestyle board. Comparable boards, the K2 Hypnotist, the Nitro Beast, the Yes Airmaster Fridge Extreme. Binding recommendations, the Union Atlas, the Ride C8, the Rome Katana Pro. This has been my review of the Super DOA. This thing's fast and responsive. You should probably check out one of the recommended bindings to pair with it. That way you will get the most optimal setup you can.